Hey everybody, welcome to a new week. It is the 27th of July. I don't know why I say the date because pretty much readings tend to find people when they most need it, so don't get attached to the date. But I just was drawn to just ask for a message, ask if there was a message for the collective, and I'm going to try and keep it brief. So I'm just going to bring the cards in. So the first one that flew out, let me just turn this glare down. So visions of life beyond death. Well, what on earth does that mean? What does that mean? Remember last year when I said, it's number 44 as well, which is about structure and balance. Yeah, last year when I said dream big. Well, it looks like that message is being replayed today. And one of the awakenings or realizations I've had just this weekend is what I'm wrapping up is looking like a 20-year cycle. And that's ending for me at the moment. And that all makes perfect sense. So I wonder if it might be interesting for you just to do a little, retrospective visit down your timeline, just to pick up the big events of the last 20 years and then look at them as an organism, as an intelligent organism that talks to itself and actually has relativity to, is greater than the sum of its parts. Just have a glance back down the last 20 years and maybe move to a journal. And what have I learned? What have been my biggest transition? So I can see exactly what's on my radar at the moment. But in the collective, what I'm seeing is visions of life beyond death. Okay, so what's that going to challenge in us? That's going to challenge some old narratives. Every change and rising and breakthrough will challenge what's in the sump at the bottom. Okay, so envisioning a life beyond the wrap up of this cycle. So we're kind of, I think we're just moving into, is it the pre-shadow of Mars retro? So I'm feeling that as like a kind of weight. Caution around rushing ahead, thinking you've got all the pieces to move into what's feeling like maybe a new expression of yourself. So there needs to be a little bit of reflection before that push forward. And you'll know exactly because the energy will pick you up and it will carry you. And until that's happening, then just watch for what you're pushing. If there's a little note of frustration in what you're pushing into because you want it, then you'll learn more from kind of just leaning back into the tension of that, so that you can rise. So visions of a life beyond death, and what does that look like for you? What have you been doing? What work have you been doing for the last 20 years? Big picture, big themes. Okay, so then after that came out, what number is it? 19, 10, 1. Birth. This is birth. Dream a beautiful dream. I have a lot of conversations with clients about The Secret, the book, The Secret, and I think there was a film as well. And they all kind of agree there's something missing from The Secret. There's like the secret ingredient is missing from The Secret. For me, it's elevated emotional response. That's the bit that's missing from The Secret. So when you vision forward, how big are you dreaming might be my first question. Are you dreaming about a new car? Or are you going big, big? Like total change of expression of who you are, who you want to be in the world. You know, remember the picture of the cat with the dragon wings and the tail, the was it a little reptilian tail? How much of your weird are you going to bring? How much of your unusual, potentially jarring, unique, beautiful, soulful, authentic expression are you going to be? Because that's what's getting born here, bigger picture. This is the process of self-actualization. This is the individuation of self. So learning how to be a part of the collective without being absorbed into some homogeneous expression of normalcy. So it's shining bright in a collective and holding your own, and also the collective being able to meet you and hold you in that, you know. And yeah, so we've got kind of a wrapping up of a big cycle, it feels like. And yeah, so it might be that the last kind of 6 months of this year are going to, might be challenging and testing. And when we rise to the challenge, it's certainly going to lift us up, because the challenge will be letting go and moving into this fire action. Just do it, you know, that kind of action. So, and we've got to walk that carefully. We've got to walk that carefully. So, and if this lands with anybody, one of the energies I'm personally working with at the moment is, it feels like a king energy. I think I mentioned this in the last video. It feels like a king energy. So it's moving into and elevating my inner king energy. So that's, I think that's going to be playing out. Learning to ask for what you want as well, you know, it's always a big one. And the underlying card, we're using Sacred Rebels today, which I think you all know by now. Yeah, okay. So what I'm being shown is this kind of cycle, kind of learning from what we know. So what we've learned over the last 20 years is the completion of the cycle. Okay. And here's the test of dreaming big. The test of dreaming big is what's going to happen when you land that dream, that truth, that expansive, blossoming expression of your beautiful soul. Not the bit of you think people want to see, that's personality. Soul is something more powerful, and you'll know what that is in you. You'll be able to feel that. So this is about receiving the learning from this cycle. It's about feeding yourself, you know. So we have we have lots of Venusian energy moving into Mars. So this is about how we parent ourselves. This is about, you know, my relationship with my inner mother and my relationship with my inner father. So how do you receive? If you were to journal that, I wonder what you'd say. How do I receive? When kindness and love are given to me, how do I receive? Because that will complete the cycle. That will complete the cycle. Receiving the learning and turning that into wisdom. Wisdom is the application of learning in the world. So part of the receiving is, you know, giving yourself permission to be better than you thought you were, to be pretty damn special, to be worthy of love. How about that for a new world? Wouldn't that be gorgeous? And that's it. I promised I would keep it brief. And that's me in my brevity, sending you love, and looking forward to your expression of wisdom in the world. That's it. Take care. Have a great week. Hopefully I'll see you soon.